I will tell you why I think that in this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and don't forget to hit the like button. We already know that a new Far Cry game is in development. Speaking to IGN, Ubisoft VP of Editorial Tommy Ranzon, I hope I pronounced that right, said that both the Assassin's Creed rumored to be called Empire and a new Far Cry game were undergoing careful development in September 2016, saying that they will maybe not hit 2017 if the game isn't polished enough. They want an alpha version of the game a year before the game comes out. Of course, this means an alpha version internally, so not something we can play, but still this is interesting. With the fact that we know that a new Far Cry game is in development, something that is not really weird after the success of Far Cry 3, Far Cry really took off and found an audience of millions of people. Result, it makes a ton of money. They got the engine already and the world map. No, I think that they will make a new world map for Far Cry 5. Looking at you, Far Cry Primal. Anyway, my point is that Far Cry 5 at the Ubisoft E3 2017 press conference is a given at this point. Also, looking at their upcoming announced games lineup, then you don't see that they have a lot of other stuff out by the time we get to E3 in June. South Park, For Honor, Star Trek and Wildlands are all slated to release in the first quarter of 2017. Of course, some games will probably not make it. I think that, for example, Wildlands could get delayed, but still they're slated to release in the first quarter of 2017 at the time of this recording. So that means that Ubisoft will totally announce a ton of new games at E3 2017. Oh yeah. One of them will be Assassin's Creed Empire, or whatever it will be called. I will stick my hand in the fire for Far Cry 5 as well. Or maybe Far Cry Dinosaur Hunt or something like that, with an early 2018 release. February, something like that, just like Far Cry Primal. That did pretty well for them. I do think though that they need more time than 2 years to create this game, because they are probably going to take a lot of things that we saw in Far Cry 4 to the next level. And what I mean by that is that the co-op mode and the crazy things you can do in the world, let's call it let's play features that do really well in let's play videos, are going to be really important in Far Cry 5. This is the direction that Ubisoft is heading, and we saw that already a little bit with Watch Dogs 2, that also has a co-op mode apart from the single player story. While the previous Watch Dogs game lacked one. They want the players to create their own story together and less cinematic storytelling of their own. Ghost Recon is another step in that direction. So what I think that you will be able to do is play with up to 4 players in Far Cry 5, and yes, I will say it again, you will be able to hunt dinosaurs together. I really hope that dinosaurs will be in the next game. I mean, Far Cry Primal and then dinos, right? The co-op mode will be bigger than in Far Cry 4, not only in terms of player size, it will maybe have, like Watch Dogs 2, also some sort of camps or dino caves that you need to take down with 2 or more people. There will be a huge emphasis on the awesome stuff you can do in the world, so that let's players can show that off in their videos. Let's players, is that a thing that you call these people? Anyway, something that already kinda happened with Far Cry 4, but this time it will be more crazy stuff you can do and more fun you can have in this open world. And maybe I think the theme will be some sort of Jurassic Park, that it will not be in the past but in the present time, so you still will have cars and stuff like that, but the area will just be filled with dinosaurs. That you went to this theme park with your friends and then suddenly you got kidnapped there, or you got imprisoned there and you can't leave. That will be the story, something like that, with a crazy psycho. There will probably be some sort of crazy bad guy like Vaz, of course, from Far Cry 3, that will lead the story. I mean, they have to follow what I think this like successful formula that they did with Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, but shake things up a bit, make it more interesting in terms of gameplay, because you can only do so much stuff with tigers and in the real world. I think that a fictional park like Jurassic Park with dinos would be really cool, and I really like dinos, go figure. So to recap, Far Cry 5 will have a huge blowout at E3. Maybe it will be announced before that, because usually Ubisoft announces games in their franchises, in their running franchises, earlier than E3. Look, for example, at this year's E3, they had a new game with Star Trek and Steep. Year before that, they had Rainbow Six. That was like a totally relaunch for that game. The Division and Watch Dogs before that. So normally games with a number behind it will get announced earlier. Anyway, it will be a 4-player co-op game, dinosaur hunt game in the present time, with a huge focus on things you can do in the world. It will launch in February 2018, just like Primal did, and it will be really cool. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe for way more game predictions and theories. Like the video if you did, and I will speak to you next time.